Good morning, teachers. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
Mr.
morning, teachers. So today our reader will be Miss Miss Loida. Welcome, Miss Loida.
Sorry? Allow.
We are very eager to listen to your story, Miss Loida.
May band-aid oh. Okay.
yung laptop mo, teacher Lloyd.
Sa ano pa to? Last. Ano last? February. Some entitled Desiree's Baby. I have a feedback. Mute na lang. Okay.
Anyways, maririnig ka.
Can you hear me? Okay, let's start. As the day was pleasant, Madame Valmonte drove over to Labri to see Desiree and the baby. It made her laugh to think of Desiree with the baby. Why, it seemed but yesterday that Desiree was little more than a baby herself. When Monsieur is in riding through the gateway of Valmonte, had found her lying asleep in the shadow of the big stone pillar. The little one woke in his arms and began to cry for Dada. That was as much as she could do or say. Some people thought she might have strayed there on her own accord, for she was of the toddling age. The prevailing by a party of Texans whose canvas covered wagon, late in the day, had crossed the ferry that Cotton Mays kept just below the plantation. In time, Madame Valmonde abandoned every speculation but the one that Desiree had been sent to her by a beneficent providence to be the child of her affection, seeing that she was without child of the flesh. So Desiree was adopted by the Belmonte. Okay. They don't know her origin, where she came from. But the child grew to be beautiful and gentle, affectionate and sincere, the idol of Valmonte. It was no wonder when she stood one day against the stone pillar in whose shadow she had lain asleep 18 years before that what's her name? Aubini. Armand Aubini, riding by and seeing her there, had fallen in love with her. That was the way all Aubigny fell in love was that he had not loved her before, a boy of 8, after his mother died there. The passion that awoke in him that day, when he saw her at the gate, swept along like an avalanche, or like a prairie fire, or like anything that drives headlong over all obstacles. Monsieur Valmonde grew practical and wanted things well considered. That is, he looked into her eyes and did not care. He was reminded that she was nameless. What did it matter about a name when he could give her one of the oldest and proudest in Louisiana? He ordered a corbeille. Corbeille is like a basket, and then they put the gifts inside, and the groom gives it to the bride before the wedding. Okay, that's a corbeille. He ordered the corbeille from Paris and contained himself with that patience he could until it arrived. Then they were married. Madame Valmonde had not seen Desiree and the baby for 4 weeks. When she reached Labrie, she shuddered at the first sight of it, as she always did. It was a sad looking place, which for many years had not known the gentle presence of a mistress. Old Monsieur Aubigny, having married and buried his wife in France, and she having loved her own land too well ever to leave it. The roof came down steep and black, like a coal, reaching out beyond the wide gallery. Big solemn oaks grew far reaching branches, shadowed it like a pall. Young video.
Okay.
Sorry, where did Mr. Wee?
Yes, Miss Laura.
Yeah, what was the last part that you heard about um let's see. Madame Valmonde?
Yeah, I think about around Vermont part.
Which one? Madame Valmonte has not seen Desiree and the baby for 4 weeks. Yeah? Okay, so when she reached Labrie, she shuddered at the first sight of it, as she always did. It was a sad looking place, which for many years had not known the gentle presence of a mistress. Old Monsieur Aubigny having married and buried his wife in France, and she having loved her own land too well ever to leave it. The roof came down steep and black like a coal, reaching out beyond the wide galleries that encircled the yellow stuccoed house. Big solemn oaks grew close to it, and their thick leaved, far reaching branches shadowed it like a pall. Young Obini's rule was a strict one too, and under it his Negroes had forgotten how to be gay, as they had been during the old master's easygoing and indulgent lifetime. The young mother was recovering slowly and lay full length in her soft white muslins and laces upon a couch. The baby was beside her upon her arm, where he had fallen asleep at her breast. The yellow nurse woman sat beside a window, fanning herself. Madame Valmonte bent her portly figure over Desiree and kissed her, holding her an instant tenderly in her arms. Then she turned to the child. "This is not the baby," she exclaimed. It started stones. French was the language spoken at Valmonte in those days. "I knew you would be astonished," laughed Desiree, "at the way he has grown. The little cochon del sorry, how do you say that? Cochon de lait. Okay. Cochon de lait. Look at his legs, Mama, and his hands and fingernails. Real fingernails. Zandrine had to cut them this morning. Isn't it true, Zandrine?" The woman bowed her turbaned head majestically. "Mais si, madame. And the way he cries," went on Desiree, "is deafening. Armand heard him the other day as far away as La Blanche's cabin." Madame Belmonte had never removed her eyes from the child. She lifted it and walked with it over to the window that was lightest. She scanned the baby narrowly, then looked as searchingly as Zandrine, whose face was turned to gaze across the fields. "Yes, the child has grown, has changed," said Madame Valmonte, slowly, as she replaced it beside its mother. "What does Armand say?" Desiree's face became suffused with a glow that was happiness itself. "Oh, Armand is the proudest father in the parish, I believe chiefly because it is a boy to bear his name, though he says not that he would have loved a girl as well. But I know it isn't true. I know he says that to please me and Mamma," she added, drawing Madame Valmonte's head down to her and speaking in a whisper. "He hasn't punished one of them, not one of them, since baby is born. Even the
Miss Loida?
Grillo, who yeah.
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
thank you, thank you,
We're
Miss
out of
Loida.
time.
This was a very touching story about motherhood, and we would really like you to continue it tomorrow, if you please.
Yes, yes. Tomorrow will be fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Loida. Thank you, teacher, for being here, and see
Okay.
you tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr.
Bye.
Wee.